here we go. It is hour 3. We're live in L.A. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we're on Fox Sports Radio right here on FS1. Gerald McCoy is a great Pro Bowler for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Went to the Cowboys, got hurt. They released him. He's a free agent. Somebody's going to get him eventually. And Chris Collinsworth of NBC Sports with Al Michaels. He'll be joining. We haven't had Al Michaels on in a while. We should get him next week. So Chris Collinsworth's going to be coming on 40 minutes from now. Joy Taylor. Show is flat. We're off. Joy and I are off tomorrow. It's a long story, but because of COVID and the protocols here at our company, we've got baseball playoffs, we've got Thursday night football, we got people all over the building. We just can't have all the shows. It's the reality of it. So we don't really get October, November shows off. It's we're taking the day off tomorrow because the building is being cleared out. So all the shows will be off tomorrow. So
it's a new world we're living in.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't get Thursdays off. I don't even know what I'm going to do.
I've been doing yoga in the morning.
Oh,
so
boy.
Maybe I'll do a little more yoga.
Bikram or the other one? No Bikram yoga?
Well, I bought, hot yoga studios. I used to do hot yoga 5 days a week, and they're all closed, obviously.
Right,
so I bought a little heater for my apartment.
Oh, how about that?
I'm improvising.
Very nice.
It's not quite as hot, but, you know.
Oh, well, good for you. All right, the Lakers are now up 3-1 on the Miami Heat, a plucky team, but the Lakers are up. LeBron's on the cusp of his 4th title, and sometimes in the playoffs, you just need things to go your way. So LeBron's had some bad breaks, and I think in life, I tell my kids, you're going to get good breaks, you're going to get bad breaks. I don't want to hear victimization. Listen, sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. Head down, fight through it. Nobody wants to hear you whine. LeBron's had some bad breaks in the NBA. Number one, he got drafted by Cleveland. In any sport, that's generally not good news. Number two, he walks into the NBA, and about halfway through it, it becomes a three-point shooting league. He's a forward. That's for wings and guards, right? That's not great for a 6'9.5" freight train. Kevin Durant, after he beats the Warriors, goes to Golden State and creates a dynasty. That's not great. Oh, by the way, he goes to the finals once in Cleveland. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love both get hurt. His second and third best player. He goes to the Lakers, and the front office implodes. He's had some bad breaks he's had to overcome. This year, he got the breaks. The dynasty broke up. The Clippers got knocked out of the playoffs. Anthony Davis is the healthiest for the longest stretch of his entire career. And in the finals, the Miami Heat have kind of team. Goran Dragic is out. Bam is playing 75, 80%. Finally, LeBron got some breaks. Now, he took advantage of those breaks. He right now leads the Lakers in points, rebounds, assists, and everything. And it is still absolutely remarkable that if you take LeBron off this Laker roster, it's the 2017 New Orleans Pelicans. It's a mismatch of too old, not good enough, disparate, odd, strange parts that sometimes don't look like they should be in the same town together. But he makes it work. He is the leader of the singularly only veteran team that did well in the playoffs. Milwaukee folded. Houston folded. The Clippers folded. So it is still absolutely remarkable. But he's had a career drafted by Cleveland. KD goes to the Warriors, becomes a three-point shooting league. Lakers implode when he gets there. Goes to the finals. Kyrie and Kevin Love both get hurt. He's had bad breaks. He's had really bad breaks. This year, he got all of them, and he has taken advantage of them. And last night, with about 6.5 minutes to go, Rondo, LeBron, and Anthony Davis, the veterans who are all elite defenders when they want to be, clamped down on the kids. This was one of the first playoff games that really looked like a non-bubble playoff game. 83-83, it's all even. And LeBron says, all right, I'm going to score or assist on every Laker basket going forward. My entire life, last night, 7 minutes to go, is what playoffs look like. The young, spunky, athletic, fun Miami Heat, the young kids, face AD and LeBron and Rondo, and the grown men, the grown-ups, their body language changes. Their intensity changes with about 6.5 minutes to go, and they are all over the kids. It's like, all right, Dad woke up from his nap. All right, here we go. And the Lakers clamp down. LeBron afterwards, one game away from another championship.
When I woke up from my nap this morning after our team meeting, I just felt that vibe. I felt that pressure. I felt like for me personally, this was one of the biggest games of my career, and just wanted to relay that message to my teammates, the type of zone I was in, the type of moment it was. It's just my mindset, kind of still in it. Obviously, it's my mind kind of working right now.
One game to go, one more title, third team, fifth head coach to the finals, the greatest professional basketball career, I didn't say player ever, about to be culminated in the bubble. Then he flies home out of the bubble. And hopefully, although it's been done well, we never have to deal with an NBA bubble again. Well. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, if we could, for a second. You know, there are certain people, politicians and cult leaders, who are really good at looking you in the eye and lying. I've never myself been able to do it. I've often joked I could never be an actor. Like me or not, here's what I think. How it lands is a you problem. But politicians and cult leaders are just great at it. They're just selling you stuff they know is not true. Add to that the owner of the Dallas Cowboys and the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy, who are trying to convince you, despite what you're seeing, this defense is very close. This is very good. It's just a tweak here. And Troy Aikman yesterday on Dallas radio would have absolutely none of it.
To me, I'd be embarrassed as a player to put that kind of performance on film that's going to be seen by your peers for the rest of the season. It was just not very good. And I know Mike Nolan is in the firing line right now. But, you know, over the years, you could always point to the way that the Cowboys played defensively. I mean, they played with great effort. You know, they just flew around 11 guys and didn't always play great, but it was always there on film as far as the effort level. And, I mean, I didn't see one guy on defense that I'd say had a good game. And the last touchdown that Odell Beckham scored when they'd cut it to 3 points, you know, they had all the momentum. If they make a stop there defensively, they probably win the game.
There's almost a certain art to it, to be this delusional and try to convince us of what we're seeing is not true. As Troy pointed out, on that reverse to Odell Beckham, there were multiple Cowboy players just sort of jogging like it was practice and they weren't in really good shape in Oxnard yet. It was brutal. It was brutal. There's a delusion to it. We have an owner, his son, and the head coach, and nobody is buying it. The players aren't buying it. You can tell they're not engaged. You can't fool the athletes. They know who's to believe in. I mean, this is why Belichick makes Cam work. Cam comes in, independent personality, and he buys into everything Belichick's selling because you know it's honest and authentic because it's worked for 20 years. That's why New England's working. That's why when you see new coaches go to new staffs like Kyle Shanahan to San Francisco, you know, players are asked to do a lot, but they buy in because they can see it's working. You can look at the Cowboy players. They're not buying into Mike Nolan, who was kind of a journeyman linebacker coach, landed in New Orleans, nobody giving him a D.C. job, and Mike McCarthy got hired by him years ago, so did him a favor. It is a disaster. Said it yesterday. Hire slowly, fire quickly. Move off it. Okay, we know what's going to happen this weekend. Dallas is going to beat the New York Giants, who have scored 3 offensive touchdowns all year. And Mike McCarthy's going to come out and say, you know, we're a little more buttoned up. I thought we had a good week of practice. We're buttoned up. Good week of practice. I thought we really showed some growth here. No, you faced the New York Giants here. But you can't keep BSing people. The 4 quarterbacks that have faced the Dallas Cowboys this year, if you put their statistical averages all together, it's Patrick Mahomes' season averages. They're making every quarterback Patrick Mahomes. And I like Jared Goff and Matt Ryan. They're not Patrick Mahomes. So they're going to play, the Cowboys are going to play over the next couple of weeks, the New York Giants, who can't score offensive touchdowns, and Washington, that just benched their starting quarterback. and Arizona, which is kind of a mess right now on both sides of the ball, though they have talent. And Dallas is going to convince you they had a good week of practice, and they've got it buttoned up, and the momentum's on their side, and it will be the same old delusion. They're trying to convince us, like politicians and cult leaders, something we know is not true is definitively true. Gerald McCoy, the six-time Pro Bowler, started the season as a Dallas Cowboy before an injury. He'll be joining us coming up next. Gerald McCoy. You've heard us talk about our favorite brand of cowboy boots. This is not a cowboy costume. These go and look good at work, look good in the boardroom, look good at home, and look good out. Tecovas boots. Based in Austin, Texas, boots are handmade in Mexico. There's no middleman. They make them, you buy them. That keeps the prices competitive, lower than the average cowboy boot. They make wallets, belts, travel bags. I got one of those too. Outstanding. Last a long time. Obsessively crafted. They don't mess around. This is what they do, and this is all they do. Leather goods and cowboy boots. Find your pair at tecovas.com/herd, and not only be a little taller, walk a little taller. Tecovas. Tecovas. Tecovas.com/herd. Directly, without a markup from a middleman, made for you to buy. Tecovas boots.